Chess lovers, I have another mega aggressive attacking game for you played by Mikhail against Rico Mascarenhas. The game was played in 1981 in Lvov. Tal had white pieces and he started with e4, d5 by Mascarenhas, Scandinavian defense, e takes d5, queen takes d5, knight c3, queen a5, d4, c6, knight f3, knight f6, bishop d2. Already there can be some nasty discovered attacks, that's why black is placing the queen on c7 square, bishop c4, e6, queen e2, bishop e7, and a hyper-aggressive attacking move by Tal, g4. He is starting an immediate advancement on the king side. Knight d7. Well, actually, capturing on g4 can be very dangerous. White can first play rook g1, and if h5 then h3, and then win this pawn on g7. That's why black didn't go for that risky knight takes g4 and played knight d7. White castles queenside, b5. In return, black is counter-attacking on the queen side. Bishop d3, b4, knight e4, knight d5, and king b1, a very useful prophylactic move when you are castling queenside. a5. Black is also playing very aggressively, but let's see who will be faster. Here we go, g5, queen b6, h4, c5. Black is trying to somehow free his position and activate his pieces. d takes e5, knight takes e5, bishop b5 check, and we see the exchange of light square bishops on d7. h5, and a very daring decision by Mascarenhas, castling kingside. Well, actually playing a4 and preceding the attack on the queen side would have been better, but instead after h5 we see castling kingside. Here comes g6 trying to rip open black's kingside. h6, black tries to keep closed the king side, and now comes this hyper-aggressive sacrifice by Mikhail Tal. Bishop takes h6. Look at this move. Mascarenhas, who dared to castle king side, didn't dare to accept the bishop sacrifice. He played f5, which is weakening his king side too much. Actually, g takes h6 would have been better, though after queen d2, king g7 in order to protect the pawn. g takes f7, rook h8, overprotecting the pawn on h6 and preparing to escape, then simply knight d4, and though the engines give black advantage, but of course from a human perspective this is going to be a very dangerous attack by white. But after bishop takes h6 we see f5 in the game. As you can see, the bishop on h6 and the knight on e4 are hanging, but in this position Tal went for a mind-blowing move. He captured on d5. Actually, that knight on d5 square was standing very actively, that's why Tal is just getting rid of that powerful knight. Black captured on d5. But as you can see, the knight on e4 is also hanging. Let's have a look at the variation. What will happen if black captures on e4? Here is a very beautiful line. Then white can capture on d7. Still there are two hanging pieces, also black bishop is hanging. For example, now if g takes h6, then queen takes e4, if rook e8, then knight d5, and this is going to be a very dangerous attack. If queen takes f2, then knight g4, there are so many threats that this is going to be crushing. Or after rook takes d7, if e takes f3, then queen e5, threatening mate in 1. And if g takes h6, then simply rook takes e7, it's over. Or after queen e5, if bishop f6, then white can go for this rook takes g7 sacrifice. If king h8, then rook h7 check. If king g8, then can you find a winning move for white? Ready? Actually, this bishop g7 is very powerful. I think that this is very hard to find. If bishop takes e5, then simply bishop takes e5 and black king is getting checkmated. What a move. Let's have a look at that bishop g7 once again. But let's go back. This was just a variation after f takes e4, but in the game we see e takes d5. Here comes knight g3, opening up the queen's path. Rook e8, queen d2, the queen is coming to support the bishop, also eyeing on d5. Knight c5, but now the bishop returns back on f4 square, freeing this h6 square for the pawn. Knight e6, h6. Rook f6, after which black's position is just collapsing. Well, actually bishop f6 is better, though after bishop e5, trying to remove this powerful defensive bishop. If f4, then knight h5, and again black is in trouble. knight g4, and white's aggression can't be stopped. Let's go back, but after h6 we see rook f6. H takes g7, white manages to open up the h file for the rook. Knight takes g7, and now you can pause the video and try to find Mikhail Tal's next moves. Ready? He first played bishop c7. Did you find this move? Or can you understand the idea hidden behind this move? The idea is that now white is opening up the queen's path with a tempo, and after queen takes c7, Tal played rook h8 check and black resigned. If king takes h8, then queen h6 check, and then black king is getting checkmated. What a checkmate. Actually, after bishop c7, black should have played queen e6. The idea is that in the end of the day, to cover black king, after that rook h8, queen h6 sacrifices, but after knight d4, again black is in trouble. After kicking away the queen, again white can go for that beautiful rook h8 sacrifice. But let's have a look at that final combination once again. Bishop c7 and then rook h8 check, and black resigns because the queen is coming and is checkmating black king. What a game. What a game. The way Mikhail Tal's brain worked and he managed to create this beauty on the board leaves me speechless. Thanks for watching, and for more games just press the subscribe button.